Hello, my friend.
Hey!
Hello.
Well,
Oh my God, bro. I am so sorry. I actually was knocked out, man. I dozed off and I
you're
was
so good.
completely knocked out. And I woke up just now and I was like, oh my God. Everyone was like, hey, are you okay? Are you alive? I was like, oh man. So,
I texted everyone.
oh
I
my
was like, I don't
goodness.
know if he's alive. I don't know if he's.
Yeah, man, how you been?
I, I've been good. I'm just here. I'm chilling. I've just been talking to everyone. And
Yeah,
hopefully we got a.
yeah.
Um, hopefully we're going to be getting a lot of people on here now. Um,
Yes, no, I'm happy, man. I'm happy that you remember it too, because I was like, oh wait, when I woke up, it was the first thing I was like, wait a minute, let me get on here real fast. No, first off, thank you so much for having like
yeah,
some time today to
yeah.
like talk about everything. Because I wanted to start off by asking you, and this is really the main thing, is what motivated you to want to do this animated Superman like fan film? Like what like was it that gave you the idea where you're like, you know what? I really want to do this, and I'm really passionate about this. What was it like that kind of motivated you?
Um, I think it just came from my love for superheroes ever since I was a kid. I think, especially Superman, since, you see that symbol everywhere you go on a shirt or whatever, and you're able to immediately identify like who that is, like what character it is. It's Superman.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
actually because I was wanting to do a Spider-Man film in the first place, and then think I had just gotten done watching Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, and
Oh, such an underrated movie, man. Such an
yeah,
underrated movie.
yeah, and I just wanted to make something that I thought was cool and unique, and I thought that my own unique take on Superman would be really really cool, and the script turned out. It took a lot of hard work, trust me. Um,
Yeah.
and trust me, this has been like 3 years in the making, and I just now got done with the script, and I'm really, really happy with it. And I think it's some of my best writing yet, and hopefully everyone else will like it.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing, man. It really does take a lot of work, and I think a lot of people may not notice that. I had worked with some friends last year and did like a little like short flash fan film. And when I was like working like on the script and everything, even though it was like a short film, it like
Yeah,
took a lot of work, and it was fun. You know what I mean? But it's like I think a lot of people, like when they're working on like fan films, there's some people sometimes because they get so busy or they may not
hmm,
have time that they may not even be able to finish it. And I think a lot of people don't realize like how much work it takes. Like there's a Flash fan film that I'm helping a guy with that I got a chance to like I'm gonna get a chance to at least be a part of it.
yeah,
And he's
yeah,
raising money for the budget and everything, and you
hmm,
probably don't know about it too. And like it's a lot, you know what I mean? Like
oh,
to do. And, I think that honestly, I believe that these fan films that you see, like that you're doing and that a lot of people are doing, to me, it's really fun and really cool because you get to tell a story that sometimes the big budget, studios like DC themselves, they may not,
yeah.
have the time to do, or they may feel like, the fans may or may not be interested. But a lot of fans are really interested in seeing these different stories that you can tell and put out there. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
that's to me the really, really fun thing is like you can kind of have fun with it and really explore other details that you don't always get to see. And so I wanted to ask you too, what is like just personally, who is one of your favorite like characters in, I guess it could be like villains or even just other heroes when it comes to DC that you've like just always been passionate about? Like it could be like, like let's say Lex Luthor, or it could be, Supergirl or anything, but like what's like another character that you've always like really loved?
I think, I grew up on the Flash CW series for, most of my life. That was like my thing. I used to get up at like 6 a.m. before school to watch the show. And then,
Yeah.
I'd be talking about my parents with ride home. So I think the Flash in particular is probably one of my favorite, all-time favorite DC heroes. I think the journey of him and what he goes through, and because in reality, like, he is one of the most people who has dealt with the most amount of things, and he still chooses to
Yeah.
be a hero, um, and having to deal with this psychopath Reverse Flash and everything, but still keeping it close to home. Yeah, so I think, and it's the same thing with Superman. This guy literally has the world on his shoulders, and he still chooses to be that quirky, awkward dude. Walks into the Daily Planet, says hi to everyone, as if he
Yeah,
didn't.
very positive.
Yeah, yeah, as if he literally didn't just fight a monster like 10 minutes beforehand. So
Yeah. And that's the thing is and don't get, and I'm gonna say this right now before any Batman fans get at me. First of all, Batman, I love Batman too. I'm a huge fan. This is not any insult to Batman fans, but like one of the reasons why I've always liked Superman a little bit more than Batman is because just like you said, he has been through so much stuff, but he still has a positive outlook on life. And to me, I feel like that is one of the hardest things that you can do, right? Because I feel like you're the same way. I can already tell, and me too. Like you have like very positive energy, and a lot of times I feel like when you're a really positive person, people think they're like, oh man, like they're just happy all the time, da, 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 da. But no, like you go through a lot of stuff, but it's like you choose to be positive because you know that it makes other people feel better. It makes other people feel good because you never know what someone's going through. And I always tell people because there's always a debate, who's better, Batman or Superman, da, da, da. And, I always tell people, for me, like Superman and like Batman, for example, he lost his parents, which is very, very hard to deal with. That's a very hard thing. But like Superman had his whole planet destroyed, his whole home planet, but he still manages to have, like you just said, like that positive attitude. And when he's Clark Kent, he's still saying hey to everyone. He's still very respectful, very humble,
mm-hmm.
and that's something that I feel like takes a lot of morale to like have that type of personality, because he easily could be like, I hate the world, I hate everything, you know what I mean?
Literally
But he chooses,
through this place. I'm gonna burn it down, but he
yeah,
chooses not to.
yeah, he seriously could, and he chooses not to be that way. So that really takes a lot of strength to do. And I don't know if I feel like you probably have watched it, but like a show that I got into last year, even though it had been on for like a little while, and I binged watched all of it, was the Superman and Lois series. That show is so good. I mean, like Tyler, he is honestly to me such a underrated Superman because when you see him as like a dad
Yeah,
and a husband, I mean, he really kills that role, man. He really, really kills it. And I was just like, there's some scenes in that show where I got teary eyed because I'm like, dude,
yeah,
this is so good. You know, it's so good. And so yeah, like I think that's one of the biggest things, just like you said, like about like Superman and Clark Kent as a person is that positive
yeah,
energy. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
for this fan film, like I already love like just the energy that everyone has, like the people, everyone a part of this project is so positive and so
yeah. The
nice.
group chat.
And I wanted to ask you, like how long have you been like working on this for now, this whole project?
Well, as you said, Superman and Lois, Man of Steel, whatever it is, it's always been such a huge inspiration for me. So I think I've just really tried to make sure that I'm paying homage to sort of every single iteration of Superman that there's been in a way, whether that's my own unique take or whatever. And I think that how long I've been working on this, I want to say maybe like 3 years. I originally pitched it to my,
Wow.
um, and he said, "Let's go." He said, "I'll do the score," and he's doing the score.
Yeah.
Um, and and then that was just where I was. Kyle, Janice. Janice hasn't really been here for long, but Kyle could say that when I first started, the writing wasn't great. It wasn't, I didn't really know what to do. I was just super fixated on creating the Superman story that I didn't even have planned in my head yet. I just wanted to go, go, go. But and then as soon as I started to slow down, actually take some time, I got some Superman comics, All Star Superman and Up in the Sky.
Oh
Um,
yeah, All Star's a great story.
yeah,
Love it.
I read some of those, and I was like, okay. But and then when I would read those comics, I would get an idea, I would write it, but I wanted it to be so original and unique. I was like, I'm gonna see if I can create my sort of own unique story with these characters. And I think what you see in the script is me. It's not really any of the comics. It's just coming all from my brain because I didn't really grow up with comics, as a kid.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was trying really really hard to picture what it could be in my mind. Would it be a love story? Would it be, in Man of Steel, it's an immigrant story. It's this kid who came from
Yeah.
another being accepted into the world, and he's trying to learn how to, you know, be a hero that everyone in that world wants him to be, while also not really being from said world, and really trying to find a way to connect with both of his worlds, whether that being with
Yeah.
Burrell at the Fortress of Solitude, or with Ma Kent at the Kent farm. It's just,
Like that whole
yeah,
trying to like fit in, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like,
to fit in. And I think with what we do with Last Son of Krypton is sort of similar. I tried to do as many, Man of Steel references as I could, because it's one of my favorite Superman films ever. Zack Snyder may be a hot take, but one of my personal favorite directors.
oh,
Yeah,
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely, and he gets so
yeah.
much. I think, don't get me wrong, people like you and me love him, and some people hate on him, but man, he really takes risks, man. He really takes a lot of risks, and I like that, and I feel like he's a nerd, like us, like he's a
He's a
hardcore
nerd,
nerd, you know what I mean? So I
and
love him, I really do.
what I like about Zach is how he's able to take these characters, but he's also able to ground them in this sort of mythology and this world building. And, he can go back and do other references to maybe not comics. It could be Greek mythology, whatever. He has
Yeah,
this brain. He has this brain that is able to compute with everything. And if I were want to be like a director, obviously people say if I were to be a director, I wanted to be like a Christopher Nolan, which he wouldn't be. He wouldn't want to be that. But it's Zach, because he takes risks, and Rebel Moon just came out a few months ago, and a lot of people hated it. A lot of people loved it. I personally loved it. I was able to see
I
part
loved
two in
it.
theaters. I thought it
Yeah, personally, same here.
was,
Loved it,
I
man.
yeah. And by the way, who doesn't like slow motion, right? Like
Yeah,
Zach,
bro, it's so cool to me. Like that's the thing. Like, I mean, when you go back to his movies like 300 and Watchmen and these other movies, is like, he does this really cool effects with the whole like speed up, slow motion. Like, to me, it's just a really cool like cinematography like type of thing where it's just like, I don't know, it's just cool to me. Like I said, I just feel like it's really cool. And like Rebel Moon, for example, like, as like a Star Wars fan, I really like that because I like space opera stuff. So it's cool seeing a whole original universe that was inspired by Star Wars, and originally, he wanted to do a Star Wars movie, but Disney felt like it would be too dark, but
yeah,
like I felt like I felt like it would have been perfect for him to do a Star Wars film. I felt like it would have fit perfectly. And if you watch this newer show, The Acolyte, which I really really love, and again, divisive show. Some people hate it, but it honestly, to me, I feel like they're doing what Zack Snyder would have done, where like they're making it kind of more dark and more realistic in a way, and I like that. I think it's a thing where you can't be afraid to like touch on that serious kind of dark, thing out there, because we live in a world where there's a lot of positivity, but there's a lot of darkness out
it,
there. You know what I mean? And you have to be realistic and
it,
understand that. And I feel like with Superman, like you were saying, like Zack Snyder, he's one of those people who I think he really understands the world that Superman lives in, especially if it was right now. Like if it was in the 2000s, what it would be like right now. Yeah.
say, what would it look like,
Yeah.
right? Like this
Yes.
guy from outer space, how would us humans react to said person from outer space? We would freak out.
Right.
It's like we would also be rioting. We would also be holding signs for him to get out. It's just that, it's an alien. Who wouldn't
Yeah.
alien? He may look like us, which a lot of people probably don't like, you know.
Right.
But and that's another topic in which Zach, really tried to touch up on, is that you can accept people for who they are, and with Superman and Batman versus Superman, and Zack Snyder's Justice League, his version of hope was being able to come out through all that adversity and still being this beacon of hope and still, saving the cat out of the tree or saving this person from a house fire.
Yeah.
He
Yeah. And exactly. That's exactly what it is. And also Janice, I love her comments. I want you to know we're not ignoring you, by the way. I love the comments. She's
I,
loving this. And I'm glad that people, when they see this, are gonna love this too, hopefully.
I
But yeah, no,
appreciate
absolutely. And
it.
and yeah, it's so cool, you know. And I guess for me personally, the final question I wanted to ask you was, are there any other upcoming like projects after this that you might want to touch on, or some other characters that you might want to eventually touch on that really like pique your interest?
No, I think there are a lot of projects. No, I said this in the group chat the other day. I'm constantly writing. Like, this is something that I don't take lightly. Like with
Yeah,
you see all these filmmakers. After they make one film, they take a break. I'm like, I'm gonna be
right.
making. I'm gonna be in the process of making one, but also planning out several other. That way, I can have sort of these ideas that I maybe want to flesh out in the future or whatever. Um, I think I've already announced this before, but I would genuinely like to do like a whole DC universe sort of thing with these fan films. And I
Yeah,
just recently started writing a project last night, and which is going to be really interesting. It's basically going to be like, this may be giving it away, but like the Avengers Infinity War of the universe, in which I think will be really really fun. And as for original short films that I am planning, not DC, not Marvel related, I am working on this film called Man on a Mission. I'm still trying to figure out the story, but it's going to be this sort of time travel futuristic movie. It's about this soldier that has basically been tested on, and it's just going to be very Zack Snydery. That's for sure. We're going to have
yeah,
a lot of slow motion sequences, and of course the dialogue is going to be killer. But I think with a lot of the projects that I have coming up, I think that's one of the most interesting ones. But as of right now, I'm currently focused on Last of Krypton, getting that done, and having
yeah.
the cast assembled, and with the VFX artist coming on board and everything. I'm waiting to see the response for the trailer, which isn't being made at the moment. But when it does release, I just want to see the response to that and see what it is, and then I'll probably go from there. In regards to a sequel or whatever, and then we'll see. But as of right now, Last of Krypton is my main focus. And you're going to be playing Otis,
Yeah,
and yeah, you're going to be
yeah, and actually
playing.
that yeah,
Yeah,
that's the thing. I actually am so glad you mentioned the VFX person who's on board helping too, because that was another thing that I forgot to ask was as far as the animation style. I feel like that's such a cool route to go, because the Superman My Adventures with Superman show like on Max. I love that animation style that they're doing with it, and
yeah,
that's, to me, arguably, like the James Gunn Superman movie that they're doing. I think that it's going to be a good movie. I know that it's personally, I still really love Henry Cavill. I feel like he really deserved a chance, to still explore that character. But, I feel like this new guy, I think he's going to do a decent job. I think that, James Gunn is going to make kind of, I don't want to say like a campy Superman, but I think it's gonna be probably a little more old schoolish, and we'll see how it is. But like the animated version of what they're doing right now on Max, is a very good story, and I feel like animation style is such a cool route to go.
Exactly.
And so that's actually really exciting seeing like hopefully, like once, like you said, the VFX, once we get everything together, what that's going to look like. I feel like that's a really cool thing. And what you touched
Yeah.
about just a minute ago about having a connecting universe, that's really awesome. That is a really awesome idea because which I guess they just ended it or they're almost ending it. But the DC animated universe that they had, oh my God, man. Like it's so many good animated movies in that universe like that they did. Like that was honestly like when people would say that like, oh, Marvel makes better movies than DC, blah blah blah, and I like both Marvel and DC,
Yeah.
but like the DC animated
That
universe
would
is one of those universes that every bro whether you're a Marvel fan, DC fan, everyone agrees that universe is amazing. Like that universe is a great universe that they had for years. And so I feel like that's a fun idea, having like a connected universe and
yeah,
having it with other producers and directors and people who are helping you make all these different things come to life. You know what I mean?
for sure.
And
And I'm
that's such a cool
yeah,
thing.
and obviously I'm going to be having a lot of writers and a lot of different directors taking their takes on this stuff because I'm one man. I can't do it all myself. So obviously
Oh yeah.
I'm going to be having Alex Keeling be writing the Justice Society of America series. He may direct some episodes too. I don't know. I have to talk to him about that. I'm going to be having Mikey Evanson, who is currently writing his own Green Lantern movie and making that, Green Lantern Free Will, which is sort of going to be,
Oh
with the first. Yeah, Mikey Evanson
yeah.
is going to be writing the Green Lantern Corps series, and I'm going to be having a lot of people on helping me creatively, and obviously the
Yeah.
actors are going to be there their ideas, and I think it's going to be really fun, especially if it all works out. Now, if it doesn't, that's fine.
Yeah.
I just want to get Last on a Krypton out there, and I just want to, see how people respond to that, and then maybe we'll go from there. Because Last on a Krypton alone is so much work. Original,
Right.
yeah. Can you hang on 1 second?
Oh yeah, take your time.
Yeah. So
Also, thank you for everyone for joining, by the way. Thank you guys.
I've been seeing a few people pop in, pop out. Um, and I think it's going to be really, really fun, really, really exciting. And I think with the amount of people that are coming on board, helping creatively, VFX wise, especially storyboards, whatever it may be. I think we're building a really creative and strong team, and especially with the cast, we have so much connection already. And
Yeah.
yeah, and obviously Janice here has been putting her positive comments in the live
I
stream with
love it. She's great. I love it. I freaking love it. Then the Star Wars hot second sister, glad you joined as well. She's a cosplayer, super, super awesome cosplayer, by the way. That we're in the same cosplay Star Wars group. Her energy rocks. And yeah, man, I'm really excited for this universe that you're creating. I really think that you're doing something that is fun, but also is something that can really expand. And I'm going to tell you right now, man, because I love that you're young and that you're doing this now at an early age, because a lot of
yeah.
directors and producers, they start out young as well. They start really young, and when you're doing this type of stuff, you never know, man. I mean, you never know who can end up seeing this, whether they're with DC Studios or Marvel Studios. And when people see this, that's how you get a start, in doing this. And you never know where it could go. So and it's one of those things where even if it's just like a thing where it's like an underground like cult film where people find it and they're like, oh, this is awesome, type of thing.
Yeah,
It just feels cool to put a project out there that you are passionate about. And when you see stuff blow up, it's really, really fun to see where it goes from there. And I think that this is something that is gonna I just feel like years from now, when you look back at this, I feel like this is going to be one of those things for you that's going to really help get your creativity and your passion out there.
and
You know?
one day down the line, I'll be working along the lines of Zack Snyder or whatever. That's the goal, at least.
Yeah.
Uh, the likes of, Zack Snyder and whatever. So many people have been questioning lately, like, because, there's never really been anyone in my family who's been in the industry. Like my grandpa was a stuntman, but that was about it.
Yeah.
And so for me, a 17-year-old, to be like, I want to go to Hollywood, is just a bit for everyone. But it's
Yeah. I mean, you got to start out young, though. You
yeah, and
got to start out young, man. It's like one of those things, if you're like 28 or 29, like me, I'm 28, right? I got into the whole acting thing just last year for fun, as like an extra and stuff. And I really liked it, and it was really, really fun. I was like, you know what, maybe I'm going to keep doing this and keep, pursuing this. And it's like when you start out at like 17, 18, like you have so much time to grow and to like get more and more into it. You know what I mean? That's what you're supposed to do. And
yeah,
James Gunn, he started when he was young too. Him and his brother, like together. You know what I mean? Like and now look at them. So it's a great thing.
you know, with the thing, I never have really been. Look, when I saw the news that Gunn was going to be taking the head of DC Studios, I was like, this is going to be really interesting. And then, over the past few months, I've been sort of questioning it a little bit, but, I can't deny Gunn's filmmaking ability.
Thing.
He's done things like Guardians of the Galaxy, Slither, whatever. And I think, the Guardians of the Galaxy were nobodies before the movie came out, by the way. Like, these
No,
people
I didn't
did
know who they were.
we're literally going to see this movie just purely out of curiosity. Like the only
Yes.
people who these people were hardcore comic nerds, geeks, whatever, and they were
Yeah.
going to go. But by word of mouth and by how good it was, with Gunn being able to create a family within the sort of space opera Marvel movie, it's been really, really fun to sort of see his journey. As though I'm
Yeah.
not really, I've never really been a fan of his DC stuff, but I'm hoping that the DCU is really, really fun and really, really great. And I think
I'm,
hopefully,
I'm hoping too, man.
and hopefully, with the DCEU, because I've been saying for a while, ever since the Snyder Cut, that I would like to see that story completed, and then maybe in the future we could see like some sort of new iteration of these characters. But because
Yeah.
Zach had originally planned that with Rick Famuyiwa's Flash movie, that would basically just reset the whole universe anyway. Like after Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3, that would basically just implode anyway. So I
Right.
wanted
Right.
to see, because Zach had already had plans for a reboot. So I don't know as to why Warner Brothers would go in a different direction, but they did. And I'm hoping
Yeah,
that.
it's like they rushed a little bit. Like they rushed and didn't really just let him just finish. Because to me, the way it was setting up with like the Flash movie and everything, right? And I hated that they changed the ending a little bit, like what it was supposed to be or whatever. But like to me, that movie was setting up perfectly to like reboot, start everything. Like that was the perfect movie to like just reset, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And I
And
felt like they and I still like the movie, right? But I feel like they dropped the ball a little bit where they were like, we kind of want to rush, so we're just gonna like just leave this here and then, and it's like it was still a little more they could have did with it, and it had a lot of potential, but like you said, I think they were just like, they were so eager to just go ahead and hop on with the DCU thing with James Gunn, where they were just like, okay, forget about it. We're just gonna go and
yeah,
hop into this, right? And I like you said, I'm hoping that it's good. I'm hoping that everything is good. And honestly, it seems like they're still keeping elements of the DCEU, like some characters that they're still bringing over, like Peacemaker and Amanda Waller and Rick Flag's dad
yeah,
now is coming into it, and that's going to be like a whole thing in the second season of Peacemaker, where his dad
yeah,
is going to be wanting to get revenge. So
yeah,
that's why like it's kind of interesting to see like how it's going to connect, because James Gunn had said that he's like, oh, I'm going to explain why Peacemaker is in this new universe, like how it's happening or whatever.
yeah,
So hopefully they can explain what happened that made this kind of connect with the newer universe a little bit.
yeah,
Hopefully they can bring it all together.
yeah. I think with the DCU, it's really interesting to see how they'll all bring it together. I'm personally not really fond of the idea of bringing people over from the DCEU into the DCU. I thought if we were to do a reboot, it should have been a
A
clean slate.
clean one,
Yeah,
yeah.
but um, Gunn wants to keep his stuff from the DCEU, which I'm perfectly fine with because I probably would
Yeah.
have done the same. You know, because like, genuinely, I probably would have done the same thing. If I was in his shoes, I would be like, I have, yeah, I have John Cena, and I'm not gonna bring him over into this thing. Like that'd be kind of
I'm
crazy.
not gonna let that go.
Yeah, exactly. Or
Hey, Aunt.
know, like with with Chris Pratt, he may be hopping over from the MCU into the DCU.
Right, I've
He was recently
heard rumors. Yeah,
seen on set with Gunn. So it'll be interesting to see how that all works out. But Avengers 5 is going to be filming next year, so I'm guessing that what we saw at the end of Volume 3 with Star Lord will return will be concluded in Avengers 5 and 6, and then Pratt will probably head over to the DCU and work with
that,
Gunn, and
that's yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what it's looking like. And I know there's been a lot of rumors, of who who Chris Pratt will play in James Gunn's universe. And I'll be honest with you, man. For me, Booster Gold is just perfect for him, in my opinion. I feel like he fits Booster Gold so easily. I really, really do. But whoever he plays, I think he'll do a good job. But I definitely feel like he honestly was born for that role, low key. But yeah, I'm with you. I think if they just did a clean reset and just fully started fresh, personally, I would have liked that a little more too. But like you said, you got John Cena, you got Viola Davis, you got some of these people. You're like, you know what? I really like them. I'm gonna bring them over, and I think he wants to bring over Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn too. But I think she's kind of wants to move on with that from that role. I think she's like, you know what? I've done a lot of stuff. Now she has Barbie. Now she has stuff. She's like, you know what? I kind of want to take a different route. So we'll see how that turns
I think
out. You know what I mean?
you're
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think the only thing that come back to promote DC wise is the release of the air cut. I think that's the only thing that should really be coming back for. I think if Warner Brothers were to release the air cut of 2016 Suicide Squad, I think that would have
yeah.
been the only she would really come back to promote. But and then after that, I don't think she would be willing to work with Gunn or anything again. I think she's with having so much success with Barbie, and like
So
all these
much.
other movies. I'm like, God, dog it, leave some money for the rest of us at the box office. But she keeps killing it. So
Yeah,
I think whoever will end up being in the DCU, I think they'll all do a great job. I'm just hoping that story wise, it'll be up to tier, and everyone will be having fun, and no controversy or whatever, because I'm so done with that from the DCEU. I want a clean, no controversial, just DC, just listen,
yeah,
if you want to bring Zach to do his Dark Knight Returns adaptation, do it. It's not going to cause any harm. Do it if because
yeah.
Snyder has said the only superhero project that he would really come back for is the Dark Knight Returns, and to do that adaptation with Ben Affleck Batman. So I think just let everyone get what they want. Just let Snyder come back to do that
Yeah,
one movie for the Snyder fandom, and all of that, and then you can go full fledged campy, whatever. You can do whatever you want, just as long as the
yeah,
story's up
wherever
to
you want to
tier,
go.
and and it sticks with the modern mythology of these characters. I think Gunn will do a really really good job with that. And especially with the superhero costume design, like Peacemaker, Mister Terrific, everyone looks great already. But we'll see if the
Yeah, they
story
do.
lives up to it.
They do.
Well,
And a lot of people have been getting on, the Superman outfit that they have for this new movie. And I'm not gonna lie, I was one of those people too. I was kind of like, this looks really campy. It looks a little, But at the same time, it might just be an early thing. Maybe they might adjust it, and then however it looks in film, it might. I'm sure it's gonna look better. But something that I wanted to say before we hop off of here in a little bit is. First off, man, and I think I told you this when we first talked. I want to first off say thank you for having like me and everyone like be a part of this project because that Superman movie that James Gunn is doing right now, I live in Georgia, for anyone that doesn't know, and they filmed like a good half of it over here in Georgia. Now they're filming in Ohio for Metropolis, but they filmed a decent amount over here. And I originally was so excited to be like an extra on there, hopefully, and try to be a part of it, but they were only casting for very, very specific roles. And I won't say anything or spoil it because there's
Yeah,
reasons why they're
yeah,
trying to make it look like a specific area.
yeah,
So they a lot of people did not get the chance to be, an extra in it. And I was one of those people, and it was so bummy because I really love that character too, just like you. So I was like, oh man, this would be so fun to be a part of, but unfortunately they just weren't filming certain things,
yeah.
in Georgia. And so it was one of those things that was kind of like bittersweet, but getting a role in this was definitely really, really fun, I feel like, because at least I get to say and tell my friends, like, hey, I'm a part of a Superman project. Like whether it's fan film or
Yeah.
not, it's still awesome. So
Well,
I want to thank you so much for that, man. And, is there anything that you want to tell everyone before we get ready to hop off? Like any just last little
I
things you
think
want to get out there for anybody?
what I can tell everyone is that one, to be excited because something in the DC universe is about to change, as The Rock once said. And
Yeah.
and, number two, I just want to let everyone know that us, the cast, everyone, we're having so much fun. The writing process, the creative process. I think everyone is having so much fun on the film. Um, and we're definitely all going to be meeting up on a Zoom call or whatever one day, and I'm definitely going to be recording that
Yes.
and
Super excited for
uploading it on
that.
social media. And I'm probably going to be uploading some clips from this stream too. I hope that's okay, by the way.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, and I would do the same. I would definitely post it in my stories on my page. Like, I definitely want to get this out there so people can see it and watch it. And I'm actually glad that we did this today because I originally I was gonna take like just a little break off of IG a little bit, but I decided I wanted to really stay on here just because I feel like to me Instagram is one of the best ways to get everything it's the best ways to promote something, to get stuff
Yeah,
out there, because people can see it very, very easily. And I feel like this and future interviews that we're gonna do and future Zoom calls, this is gonna be a great way to really help promote this
exactly.
film and get more people to want to see what's going
Exactly.
on.
And a lot of more of the cast will eventually be more open to hopping on the calls like this and answering a few questions. And I think when we do reach that stage, ultimately, I think it'll be really, really fun to have so many people on here, having a great time, chatting about
Yeah.
the movie. Uh, Obviously, all of that will probably be way more towards the release of the movie, more promotional stuff. But we can do a live stream like this, every here and there, and
Yeah.
having fun chatting away. Because we didn't even talk much about Last of Krypton on here. We really talked about everything.
just
But
yeah, just everything, just nerding out
yeah,
basically.
just like Jana said, it was nerding. So we had fun. It was really, really cool. It was really,
Definitely.
and
Definitely, man.
Ian down here just keeps popping in and out. But
Okay, Ian.
exactly. So next live stream, we're going to be working on that just a little bit. Staying present.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I think everyone's going to have a lot of fun on this project, and I think because we're about to wrap up because I have to go, but I think everyone's having a lot of fun. Everyone's doing great, and hopefully we're going to be able to see a few looks from the film in a few months' time, and when that happens, the world's going to go crazy, and so are we. So I think it's going to be really, really fun.
Agreed. Agreed. And on that note, thank you guys for joining. By the way, I'm so happy that you guys all enjoyed this live stream. Thank you guys for being patient. By the way, while I was knocked out and just woke up not too long ago.
How's,
Ian, I will respond to you. By the way, too. I promise I didn't ignore
yeah,
anyone's messages. I literally just woke up, got straight on here, and hopped in this call. But thank you guys so much. We're definitely gonna do more in the future, just like he was saying. And if anyone wants to do like an interview like this, hit me up. and I'm down to like, set up a time where we can talk more about stuff like this and just, nerd out. So thank you so much, guys. And Joshua, I'll let you go, man. And thank you so much for being a part of this. And whenever you post it, let me know. I will repost it on my page too, and repost this whole thing.
Exactly. Janice, Kyle, anyone, if anyone wants to hop on the stream and have and take a few questions, that'd be awesome. And maybe I could hop on as well, and we could all have a little chat.
Yes, definitely, definitely. Thank you guys again. This was awesome, and we'll definitely do more in the future.
All right.
All right, bro. I'll let you go, man, and I will talk to you later, my friend. Thank you so
You're
much for doing this.
so welcome. I'm probably going to stay back just a little bit just to see if anyone has any more questions, and then I'll hop off.
All right, sounds good, man. Sounds good, guys. I'm gonna hop off a little bit. I will be back later and check out some people's comments. And take it easy, guys.
Take it easy.
See you, bro.
Take it easy. All right, so guys, that was the interview. Thank you all so much who tuned in. I think we had a lot of fun. We definitely answered a lot of questions.